Okay, so now let's talk about using the numeric inputs for translation and transforms. All right, so as we know before, if we want to move something or rotate it on the X, we can use the keyboard shortcuts. So basically R for rotate and X, and then if I hit 45 on my numeric pad and hit enter, then I've just rotated it on the X exactly by 45. Alt-R to clear that out, and then rotate on the Z, 45. Now I've rotated it there, right? Okay, Alt-R to clear that out. And now the same thing for movement. If you notice, this this cube is actually 2 meters by 2 meters, or 2 units by 2 units, and a unit in Blender is 1 meter by default. So let's move it up onto the floor, and to do that, grab on the Z1, and it's moved up 1 unit to rest on the floor like that. And scale, it works basically like uniform scale if you do it without any inputs. So for example, you just went scale 2 and then it doubled it, undo that, and then scale 0.5, and now it made it down to 1 cube, one unit cube, right? So top view and there, and let's just, you see it's basically 1 cube, right? So I can go grab on the Y, 0.5, puts it over there, grab on the X, 0.5, and it puts it right onto that cube, because we're dealing with units. And so basically I moved it half a unit by half a unit and put it back onto that square, or put it lined up with that square. So scaling, I'll go Alt-R and Alt-G to remove the scale and motion on that again. Alright, so back to the perspective view. And scale, if you scale on the X to, then you get that. So it basically doubled it just on the X. Now we can scale it on the Z by 4, enter, and we get that. So you get the idea, right? So this can be very precision scaling and movements and rotations. And keep in mind also that for the rotations, for example, if we're in the front view in the orthographic, I don't have to tell it to rotate on this view. This is already the Y, so I just go R and 45, and then it already does it right on that axis, like we talked about in the earlier videos. Okay, so that is the essence of using the numeric inputs. Now, if you notice, the inputs were showing up down here. So it really is like typing, which gets kind of interesting, because let's just say we clear out that, and let's just say I want to rotate it on the Y by 25, and I change my mind and I realize, oh, I meant actually on the X. Now I'm just going to hit the X, and it automatically went over and said, oh, well, he meant the X, so rotate it on the X by minus or plus, however I wanted to do that. Or I decided I don't want it 25, I want to go 27, and so what I did was I hit the backspace. Now I'll hit it again, and it's back to 0, because up to there it was 2, right? So it is basically like typing. So let's say you can still see that line there, I'm still in rotation mode, so I'm going to go rotate it by 50 now. I'm just going to hit 50 there. Or I could go back 1 space and add a 5 and make it 55. Or 2 backspaces back to 0 and make it 75. Alright? Or escape and have nothing. Or right click and have nothing. Right? Or basically cancel out of it. So that's an essentially introduction to the keyboard shortcuts. There's more to go over. As you can probably imagine, there's all the other shortcuts that we talked about. So I'm going to actually cover that in the next video, starting through all the things we had up to now.